Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Solving the Friendemic with your hosts, Sabrina,
Kristen,
and Holly.
Hello. So, today we're going to get started hot off the presses. What's wrong?
No, Kristen looked like she was about to burst out of her seat.
I'm so excited to be doing another week with you guys.
It's a fun energy in the room, guys. It's a Monday night. We are putting in the midnight oil.
And I'm hyped up on allergy meds. Woo!
I drank a Diet Coke.
And I had an energy drink, and I need to wake up early tomorrow.
Woo, woo. Oh, I do have exciting news.
Oh,
Yes!
So, I got a job offer today, so I can no longer say that I'm the unemployed one. I now get to be employed.
With benefits!
We love good bennies.
Yes.
That actually brings me to my question of the day, ladies. What was your first job?
Do you know this either about me? I don't know.
No, I'm excited to know this about you.
I have no idea, so
Okay,
I'm
so
pumped.
do you want the pre-16-year-old had to get a waiver for working under 16, or would you like the I'm an adult and here's my first job?
Give us both, because I have that as well.
Okay, cool. I grew up in Charlotte, and every Christmas time there's a big vendor show where you walk through buildings and buildings and buildings of sometimes small businesses, sometimes bigger businesses that have their own tents. Some of it's inside. It's decorated. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. And I would get so excited every year. And so my aunt used to be a seasonal employee for the Christmas Mouse. And so I actually got to go and work for the Christmas Mouse when I was 14 or 15. Now, you may be thinking, did you dress up like a mouse? And the answer is no, but my second job, I dressed up like a bunny. So don't worry. But no, I got to decorate Christmas trees and get ready for this big vendor show that was going to happen. And I have never gotten to fully understand how long it takes to decorate a Christmas tree well and fully. There's ways you're supposed to fan out an artificial tree. There's ways that you're supposed to layer ornaments. They did themed trees. They had an Elvis tree and a zoo themed tree, all this kinds of old time ornaments that were breakable. It was so fun. And you had to be there really early because it wouldn't open up until I think 10 or 11 or 12 in the afternoon. So we'd get there early and decorate everything. So I learned a lot about how to decorate a tree. And my aunt has an immaculate house every time at Christmas. She has 6 Christmas trees and it's amazing.
This is Marty, right?
Yeah. Aunt Marty. Yeah.
Love you, Marty.
Yeah, she's great. I love you.
Holly, will you come to my house and decorate my tree for me, or at least show me? Can you give me a good tutorial?
Yes, completely. Yes.
You will not touch my tree.
What? Why?
I am so anal about my tree. I don't even let my husband help pick out decorations or
Really?
anything. No.
Oh.
And I think that's because of my mom. We had children trees,
Okay.
and my mom didn't let us decorate the family tree.
What? No.
No, she
Kristen.
my mom had the prettiest gold pearls that she would intricately scallop the tree, and she had garland, and with us moving overseas and stuff, we had a very international eclectic ornaments. So we always had different ornaments from different countries, and they were very fragile and very artisanal, and Russian blown glass ornaments, hand painted, that kind of thing. So not kid friendly.
Makes sense.
But I will totally watch you. Maybe you can show me how to ribbon my tree.
Oh,
because
that'd
I've
be
never
fun.
done ribbons on my
My mom has done a ribbon tree before, and so my family, and this is the same family that my aunt is a part of, so my mom's side, and that's a weird I just killed Sabrina.
This is the same family my aunt is a part of. I'd hope so.
I meant maternal side, sorry. So my mom and my aunt are sisters. The same aunt that brought me to the Christmas Mouse. But my family gets we've gotten as tall as a 14-foot Christmas tree before, because we have one really big room in my family's house.
that bay window.
The big bay window, yep. And so we would get 14-foot Christmas trees. You save up all year, and we have enough ornaments to pack that sucker. It is great. It is so Christmassy. And she's wrapped it with ribbon before, which is so fun. You have to get up on a ladder and do it. It's like Christmas elves.
Not to piss on your parade,
Oh,
but
no.
can we please talk about how the Christmas Mouse sounds like a cult?
Have you been to the one in Myrtle Beach? There's a Christmas Mouse shop.
No.
I'll look. We'll go at some point because it's beautiful. It's just full of. It's in Broadway at the beach.
Oh, I know that's where the Paula Deen restaurant is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Margaritaville.
Yep.
Yes, I know what Boardwalk on the Beach
Yes,
is,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't think I've seen. If I've seen it, I have not perused in the
Yes.
Christmas mouse galore.
We're gonna go, and I'm gonna
Yay.
point out the ways that they decorated all the trees.
Excellent.
But no, and this is a quick side story for my second job. When I was a sophomore in college, on the summers, I started working for Education Express, which was an education store, and they also sold toys. And so that's where I ended up dressing up like the Calico Critters bunny that has a red gingham dress. Sabrina is making this face like I'm her hero.
I love Calico Critters. I love them so much. I need to be careful. My elbow almost hit the recording thing and I almost stopped recording.
Oh, gosh.
And we can't do that again.
No.
I love Calico Critters. Please continue.
I was a Calico Critter bunny. Yeah, it was really fun. It was really hot too, so I always have a mad respect for mascots. But I worked in the mall, Concord Mills Mall, at their education store. So that's where I was my first job after being a Christmas mouse. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
I'll find a picture of the bunny at some point.
Please do. So, I was also a mascot, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. I was not a bunny, though, which I think is probably actually cooler because I love bunnies. So, my first job, I also had to apply for a permit. I was 14 and a half, and I worked at the Snowball Express, I think it was called the Snowball Effect in downtown. And it was so interesting because I had applied and then I just happened to see the woman at the movie theater. So I cornered her and I was like, hey, I applied to be your snow cone person. You still hiring? And she literally shook my hand and she's like, you're hired. And then I got to work there. And it was funny because back then I had like long pigtails and I made all my own jewelry out of like eraser foods. So I had like ice cream erasers that I had fashioned into earrings.
Yeah.
And I had like hamburger ones and I had like all these different ones. And I would always try to like style my outfits to go with that. But it would always confuse people that I wasn't 16 because we'd get it, especially my coworkers, like not in a weird way, not like in a weird like, they thought I was 18. Like, no.
No.
But just like in a, oh, wow, like surprise kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first job. And I had to have a direct deposit. So I went to Wells Fargo and they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I need one. And they were like, what? And then they thought it was a prank. And then they finally let me have an account.
Huzzah for children getting monies.
Right? And then my like quote unquote real job, when I was 16, I started working at a computer store and I actually ended up becoming the assistant manager at 17.
Hey, look at you.
And I used to like see phones and computers being fixed. I don't remember any of it because I was more of like the front of house person. I would make sure like the people were doing what they needed to do. But then during that time, I was also working 3 other jobs because I worked there. I worked at Mykonos. I worked at Parks and Recreation of Burlington, which is where my mascot job came in because for the Christmas parade, I got to be the chipmunk a few times. That was really, really fun. And I got to be in the parade and it was hot, but it was winter, so it was like good that it was hot. Mm-hmm. And then I was also a tutor at the local community college for graphic design.
Very cool.
Yes.
A whole list of things.
I know. Miss Entrepreneur over there.
Seriously.
Been doing side hustles since 14 and a half, ladies.
Hey.
And so then for me, it was different because living overseas, I can't just pick up a job just for safety reasons, and being off of the embassy was a real hassle. So my first job was in El Salvador, and I started at 16 and I did the summer hire program through the embassy, and I was the community liaison assistant. So what I specifically did was I worked with welcoming new coming families to the embassy, as well as integrating the community outside of the embassy. I would host functions. I would create welcome kits. I would also help with emergency plans and training. I brought local artists for fairs. I did a whole bunch of summer plans. I loved my job. I loved the women that I worked for, but it's not a very traditional like high school job. But I continued to do that while I was there, and I actually managed to finagle my way to do that as my senior intern program. And I got out of doing my last 3 months of high school.
That's wonderful.
And getting paid and stuff.
Well done.
I think that job sounds really cool and something that you excelled at, because I can just see you rocking that.
It was a lot of fun. And, I had thought, if I married someone in the embassy, this is probably what I would do. Mm-hmm. But my first adult job in the U.S. wasn't really a super adult job, but I did work at the Natural Dog.
Yep.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, and I did pet nutrition. So
what?
Yeah, I can tell you about dietary needs for animals and allergy testings and different stuff, and I can tell you about protein impact on animals and converting your dog into a senior diet, or that's what I did. But then my actual first adult job was working at the hospital as a phlebotomist. Mm-hmm. That's what I think my first adult job was.
Did you also learn, because I worked with animals through the Humane Society and then through dog grooming. I was not a groomer, but I worked kind of as a receptionist / bather / dog daycare person. And I thought I would love those things. And I thought I was going to love being at the Humane Society, and I loved the people I worked with, and I loved the animals. But I learned very quickly that is not the career that I wanted, and that surprised me. So when you got into that kind of field, were you I love animals, but this is not my life?
I love animals, but retail for animals sucks. Oh, God. And, I know I'm a nutty pet owner with my dog. I know that. But when you talk to people who are well, I just get my dog fillets of salmon and I parboil it first. And, they get very nutty about it. And they're basically making a dog version of risotto. And it's if you can afford to do that, that's awesome. I'm not trying to shit on you.
I make Khaleesi's food.
And that's totally okay.
I'm kidding.
No, but you can.
I was kidding.
Kristen started backpedaling so quickly.
Because
that's totally okay. I just want you to know everything's fine, and I would love to try your dog risotto, Sabrina. If you could just make me a second portion. That just sounds bitchin'. Bitchin'. No, but I'll make Gabby food occasionally when her stomach's upset. I'll boil chicken and use pumpkin puree, and I'll do bland rice, and then do lots of vegetable. I'll put egg in there. I do it when her stomach's upset, but for convenience I do kibble and and that's okay. You can feed your dog kibble. That's okay.
I do kibble.
You can also feed your dog risotto. That's okay.
Hell yeah.
I found a picture of me as a bunny.
Oh my God, yes please.
It's me with my sister too, so it's really me.
Oh.
Can you send that to me? I know it's a weird request, but I need to show that to Chris and be do you see Holly living my fucking dreams?
And you can see the Education Express label in the background too, which
Look
is also
how
funny.
Cute.
I know. I sweated a lot in that thing.
No, is it gingham? It looks like polka dots.
I think it's polka dots. Yeah, it's polka dots.
Unrelated question. Does the bunny still come to Education Express? And can I, unrelated, meet the bunny?
No, Education Express is now online. So it is not a standalone store anymore. So, sad day. Also, Calico Critters owned that bunny. They just let us use it for promotional purposes. Oh, I thought that was somebody else behind me making that noise.
I have an inhaler if you need it.
I want to meet the bunny.
Okay. When you said the bunny, I just had VeggieTales come into my head.
VeggieTales. Actually, no, I think of
the
rap.
The bunny. Ooh, I love the bunny. You know, the chocolate bunny?
Yep, the chocolate bunny for the Easter
And then
one.
there's the choir that says, I don't want.
Fun fact, before we started this podcast, many moons ago, not really, just probably a year ago, Kristen and Holly and Jennifer came to my house and we listened to VeggieTales rap and I taught them how to twerk.
Yeah, it was great.
It's not Sabrina's fault, but I still don't know how to twerk. So I'm. It's not because Sabrina didn't do a good job or anything. It's just because I don't have it in me.
You understand the theory behind twerking. It's the actual application
Putting
of
it into
twerking.
practice.
Yes, completely. Yes.
I think, did we all go with the working?
Yes.
Amazing. So, ladies, should we talk a little bit about the friendship aspect of our podcast? So, when thinking about our podcast and how, adult friendships have already been fucking hard, what are things that we can do to alleviate that? Like, how do we tackle that problem of trying to navigate a pandemic world and trying to get closer to people? Like, what are ways that we can go intentionally into friendships and be open?
I think primarily you just got to start with what you have. So with the friendships that you do have, what are the things that you can apply to be a better friend there? And I feel like after you do that, making other friends will be a lot easier as well. But I know one thing when we were prepping about talking about this was specifically being a good listener.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a very fast-paced society that we live in. We all want to contribute and say what we want, but then we need to look at the flip side of that coin and just be active listeners, not just hear what they're saying, but actually process and slow down and maybe just put our own opinions aside.
I like how you keep staring at me. I'm like scared.
No, I'm wanting you to jump in.
I don't know. You're like scaring me. You're
Girl,
like,
I'm like,
maybe you
bring
should be
out
an
the chair.
active listener and also good listening. And I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I am not attacking you by any means.
Clutches my
Wait,
pearls.
What if this whole podcast was just a long form way to come after Sabrina? We're really just trying to teach Sabrina how to be a better friend, and this is the long form that we're doing it with. We're 7 episodes in, and we're like, guess what, Sabrina?
Are you guys breaking up with me?
Yes.
No, it's an intervention. No, I'm kidding.
I just start sobbing.
No.
Like, oh, you bring up a very good point about listening. I think that's when I think of being a good listener, it's very much what you're saying of like that active listening. But I know sometimes for me, my biggest problem, and I don't know if you guys face this too, is I get so excited about a topic we're going to talk about, like not just on the podcast, in real life. Like if we start talking about, I don't know, cults, which I have a fixation of, my head just starts going 1,000 miles a minute. And then I'm like, oh my God, I know this, and this. And it's like, this isn't a conversation anymore. Now it's a, like, just.
Now it's a TED Talk.
Now it's a TED Talk. That's such a good way to put it. Or on the other side, like downstairs, for instance, I started having so much anxiety that we weren't going to record in time that I like tuned out for a second. And then I was like, oh, we should probably go record. And I was like, oh, fuck, Holly's talking. Holly's having like a whole conversation. And I'm like, hello, it's me.
No, I did not catch on to that, by the way, so don't worry. I did not even think about that, and you were completely right. It was time to record, so don't worry. No, I definitely, I understand where you're coming from. Whenever I make a new friend or whenever I'm with friends, I just want to share about what's going on in my life. I want someone I want to tell someone I trust all the things I'm thinking. And that's not a bad thing. I think that's something that we should be doing with our friends. I just think you have to, and I'm speaking to myself when I say this, I think that we have to know how to make it a balance. And that's what listening is. If you sit and don't say anything for hours while people are talking to you, yeah, you're listening, but you're not having a conversation. That's not the right answer here either. But, remembering that someone said that they really liked this certain place, or remembering that, when their birthday is, or I don't know, just those little pieces of information, number one, are important so that you can bring them up in conversation. that you can say, oh, I remember that too. Or, hey, I remember you really liked the band The Regrets. We should go to a concert. So using some ideas of things that you've learned from your friends is super important, but also listening to the big topics too. When your friends are going through a lot of really hard shit, like that's important to be listening to as well. And that's where that active listening comes in, of asking questions, checking up on them, not just sitting there taking it all in, but, really like wanting to be a part of it.
Participation. I think with people that we really care about, we oftentimes, when they come to us needing to vent or just open up about something, we care about them so much and we're so invested in their lives that we want to tell them what to do, how to fix it. And I know I'm that kind of person. Now, granted, as I've gotten older, I've gotten better about not just freely handing out advice when it's unwanted. But I do think that oftentimes we need to put our own desire to try and fix them or try to help them out, when really what kind of help they need is just to have you listen and support them in that moment and trust that your friends will open up to you in a way if they need further help.
We actually talked about that concept in the second episode, and it's very much of like that. Something that's helped me with that is saying, do you need support or do you want feedback? And I think when we allow people to take that driver's seat approach and you're giving the power to the person who is sharing, I think it's very empowering, one, for that person, but it's impactful for the person listening, because it doesn't put all the pressure on them of how to be the best support, right? Because I think there's so many times we have these inner monologues, especially if you have like high functioning anxiety, that you're thinking, am I being enough? Or am I doing this? And sometimes you just need to take the pressure off and be like, dude, I love you. What do you need? How can I be present for you right now?
Yeah. It's very much help me help you. But I think it's the asking how you need help, not just assuming that they're going to tell you exactly what they need.
Now, if someone's in deep waters and they're in a place that you can tell they're just kind of too overwhelmed to have choices, like things I think of as like if somebody's grieving or if they have just a really heavy situation going on, sometimes the best way to show up in those situations is standing in the gap and just giving choices. Like it could be, hey, do you like option one where I drop a meal off and I ring the doorbell and I go so you can have some space? Or do you like option two where like I watch your kids for an hour so you can shower or take a nap? Like I think sometimes we have to navigate those situations to the best of our abilities while also being mindful of our own spoons. And I think that's the hardest thing in navigating these conversations, is the human element itself, because all of this is dependent on where are we at and how do we balance being human and having relationships with other humans.
Yeah, for me, it completely reminds me of some of the students that I work with. So I've shared before that I work in an elementary school. I work specifically with students that have a disability, so I'm a special educator. And I don't know if I've ever actually said that. I've just said I work in elementary school.
And a wonderful one at that.
You haven't seen me teach. No, I'm just kidding.
You teach us things every day.
Where am I? No, but thank you guys. No, but I have been recently trained on how to give autism assessments, and I think I may have brought this up before, but it's really interesting to see conversational tactics that are, how do I explain this? It's really interesting to see when someone lacks the ability to have conversations in a way that you've never thought about before. So to give context, and I'm talking about children, so please hear me here. I'm not calling anybody else out, or if you're on the spectrum or have an idea, everyone, when you meet one person that's on the spectrum, you've met one person that's on the spectrum, right? Not everyone follows these same patterns. However, in this diagnostic test, one of the things that's really interesting to watch is you could be trying to start a conversation with someone, and an indicator that they might be on the spectrum or might have autism is that they don't pick up on certain like baits that you're putting out. So I will intentionally say to them, we'll be looking at a picture or having a completely different conversation, and I'll say, you know, I'm afraid of water. And then you wait and you see what happens. And interestingly enough, some of the students that I've worked with will just fly past that and just talk about something completely different. No follow-up question, no, wait, why are you afraid of water? Or have you been on a boat? Or, you know, they don't pick up the bait is how I've coined it before. And I think that's interesting when you have friends, is that you need to know what to look for when your friends are wanting some help, being upfront with them and saying, hey, what's the best help that I can give you right now? Like the option 1, option 2. But something I've been trying to do better at is fully listening to conversations, and instead of listening to respond, like soaking it in and thinking about what they need right now and how to help. And that's such an interesting conversational topic, in my opinion. Like I can definitely tell when I'm speaking to somebody and they're on a completely different, you know, thought train and like want to get to a certain endpoint. I've had it happen when, you know, I'm applying for jobs and interviews, like, you know, like there's that idea of, are you listening to me, or are you just wanting to ask me these questions and check off the box? You know, it's an interesting thing to think about with friendships is, you know, how do we communicate with people, and what things are your friends asking you for, and how do you be upfront with them and say, hey, what do you need? Or I remember that you said you were afraid of water. How about I don't suggest going to the beach for our, you know, our hangout this year or whatever. It's just an interesting topic, but that's what makes me think of.
Just a quick clarification station for you. Are you afraid of water, or is that just part of the test?
Oh. No, I'm not afraid of water. I like water. It's just like one of those things that I would bait because it's an easy conversation topic, and we were looking at a picture of water. No, I love water. No, we used to go every single year to Myrtle Beach. So no, I'm not afraid of water. Sorry.
We should do that at some point. I do.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we just talked about Christmas mouse and doing that, but yeah, I love the beach.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think another thing is, and it does go along with listening, but it also is watching how you respond. So I think, and I call it yum yucking. And for those of you who haven't heard the term yum yucking, it's when someone is talking about something that they're passionate about or that they thoroughly enjoy, like, oh, I just love froyo with gummy worms. It is amazing, like so good. And then I were to say, well, that's absolutely disgusting because the gummy worms get so hard and your teeth are so brittle, and like, you know, like there's just like really like, I mean, it's a dumb example, but just
don't talk shit about my friend like that.
Yeah.
Don't call your example dumb. I'll fight you.
But it's a very small example. Like it can be applied with a lot of other things, you know, and it can even go with like different conversations, such as like, this is my faith and this is something that's really important to me. Or, you know, this is my stance on mental health. Or like it can be applied to even such broader things. But if it's not hurting anyone, and that's primarily the big thing, if it's not hurting anyone, if it's not malicious.
And just because something is different or something you're not familiar with, it doesn't make it gross, or it doesn't make it wrong, or it doesn't make it not okay. Like, you know, when I wasn't on keto, I used to put boba tea bubbles on my froyo.
And that is delicious.
It's delightful.
Trader Joe's has a boba tea ice cream, and it is chef's kiss.
That sounds very yummy. But
I wish you could have it.
Thank you. But that's the big thing. I think we just need to be able to enter spaces and conversations, and whether our friend is in front of us or they're not in front of us, we need to treat people with respect. It's one thing to come to another friend that's a mutual friend and be like, I'm worried about this person. How can we support them together? Versus like, oh my God, did you see that so-and-so posted this and it's like so dumb, and we ha 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 ha. That's my fake laughing and jeering. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. But no, seriously, and I feel it's so important.
I think you need to watch who you are as a person and your key values, are they the same throughout, or are you changing drastically as a person from one group to the other? And I'm not saying like you can't be a social chameleon, as we've talked about before. That's very different. But your key values, as far as treating people with respect, not talking behind people's backs, being kind and gracious from one friend group to the other, and even when talking about a friend, just know your audience. Is there a reason that you should be talking to them about your friend? Because honestly, there probably isn't. You know, any personal issue that you are having with your friend should be dealt with the friend. Any concern that you have with them, unless it's something that you feel like you need support from other friends and kind of rally and make sure that you're getting the amount of support that you need to accommodate a certain situation. But in general, treat people with the respect and treat them as dignified as they are. Treat them just as you would want to be treated. I know we're saying a lot about the golden rule, like, but just being kind and gracious and just wanting to genuinely support people where they are, and just accepting people as they are, I think, as well.
I did want to kind of say, I think it comes down to intention. Because sometimes I know for me, like, I've gone to you guys and been like, hey, like, I won't be like, oh my God, this is with so-and-so. But I might be like, hey, can I kind of workshop a situation with you guys? Like, here's what I'm facing. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. Do you feel like this is sound reasoning? Or is there any kind of feedback you would give me? And listen, I'm not a perfect person. It's not always, the conversation is not always that elegant. Like, it's not like, and ladies, here's exhibit A and here's exhibit B. Sometimes it's a little bit of like, can you believe that this person said this shit to me? Yeah. And this made me feel angry.
And that can be cathartic too. Yeah. There's a place for that too.
And this is how I responded to it, which I know was not great in that moment. But this person is important to me and I want to rectify it. Or it might be like, you know, I don't necessarily vibe with this person anymore, but I want to end it in a peaceful way. What do you recommend? Like, this is what I'm thinking. I think it's okay to talk about situations about other people as long as the intention is towards some kind of resolution of sorts, resolution does not mean reconciliation. You never owe any single person anything. Point blank, point stop, point period. Like that's not even a question. But if you want to have difficult conversation, even if it's not towards reconciliation, but truly just to end in a peaceful way, I just think there's a very big difference between full-blown shit talking and being like, I fucking hate this bitch and we're gonna put her on blast, versus like, I'm no longer friends with this person. Like, I know we can't be friends, at least not in this time of my life. But for me personally, if I can avoid it, I don't want it to end in such a like sour way. Like, I'd like to give respect to the relationship that we had, but that doesn't mean you have to do that. Like, that might be how I feel about one situation. That might not be how I feel about a different situation. Mm-hmm. Everything is context. And what was the word I just said?
I would say situational, but yeah.
And intention.
Yep. Just have good intentions and listen to people and try to reflect on yourself and how you are as a friend and how you are as a human being, and understand that we're all just human beings trying to get through this world and enjoy every part of it and make meaningful relationships with others, and it'll be all right.
And be willing to grow.
Yeah.
Growth does not mean being friends with someone again. Growth means taking stock of all of the pieces of what happened and reflection within yourself, and also reflection on what that person may have done or said, and deciding what are your boundaries the next time that you go into another friendship, and being able to be open enough so that you can have honest conversations so you can see the relationships you want to see, but also being willing to be flexible as well. Now, of course, there are hard boundaries that we should not cross, But I think everything in life is just being able and being open to have conversation and building from there.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. So, what did we do this week?
Well, this week we decided to be thrifty and nifty.
Oh, you said the episode name?
Because you did such a good job of coming up with it.
And I was shifty. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Shifty and nifty.
I feel like there should be spy music.
And I was swifty.
Are you a Swiftie?
What is that?
Like a Taylor Swift fan?
I do appreciate her. I mean, I'm so glad she's got her own music again.
Yeah, we love that for her.
Love folklore. Love me some Red.
I haven't heard any of those songs, but I do know our song is the slam screen door, sneaking out late, tapping on your window.
When we're on the phone and you talk real slow. 'Cause it's late and your mama don't know. Okay, that brought out a little bit of my, like, when she had curly hair,
Oh, yeah, that was a great
I was
Iconic.
like, the teardrops on my guitar.
Speak Now is what got me.
I did love Speak Now, yeah.
I really only know our song and then the one that Panic at the Disco, the guy's in.
You don't know Love Song?
Oh, maybe I do. I might. And Burn Your Picture.
I was gonna say,
I mean,
pictures to burn.
Yeah, that.
burn your picture. You're just another picture to burn.
You mean it's not called Burn Your Picture?
No, it's called Pictures to Burn.
Drew looks at
Gosh,
me.
it hits you.
I'm standing in the doo-doo.
See, I like the version of my hair and my head that's like, I burnt your picture and I saw your dicture. It was real small and I had a ball just like your one. 'Cause baby, I won. That's in my head now. That doesn't exist.
I have never heard
Wait.
that.
All right, so next time we do a podcast, our intro should be, what is the song that you would like cry and do karaoke to? You know, I'm talking about like Teardrops on My Guitar
Yes.
or like something like that.
What was your angsty emotional song that you vented and would blast when having an emotional meltdown as a teenager?
Right now I want to answer this.
I mean, we can just answer
Yeah.
it. Just
Okay, so I can picture myself on the bus on the way home from high school, like I think it was freshman year, listening to this is late too for this one. Complicated by Avril Lavigne. Oh God.
Iconic.
Yes.
I love that song.
Yes.
I love Avril Lavigne.
Gosh, yes, that's mine.
Well, that was the one that I was thinking.
Really?
No, it wasn't.
No way.
It was, but I can come up with another one. All Around Me by Flyleaf. I
yes.
can feel you all around me, thick and in the air I'm breathing. Also loved Paramore
I love
and
that.
My Chem.
They have a new song out.
They do, and I'm so
just came back to
excited.
that.
I love the meme where they're like, a new My Chem song out. All of my black eyeliner coming out.
Okay, when they hopefully go on tour again, do you want to go? I love My Chemical Romance.
I will go with you.
I miss
I
concerts.
was never I was never given the opportunity to dress like a stereotypical My Chem listener and fan, but so much of me just like wants to tap into that because like I never got to.
Yeah.
I never got to paint my nails black. Never got to have like the skunk hair and like the bangs that you would completely take from one side and like bandana to the other, you know, like I just want to do that so bad.
That's so weird to me because my mom like paints her nails black and like she is the ultimate pop queen to me. So it's so weird.
What's yours, Sabrina?
My Own Worst Enemy. Do you guys know that song?
Yes.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Please tell me why my car's in the front yard and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. I came in through the window
Karaoke now.
last night. That should be one of our episodes, but
So fun. Karaoke.
I
Yeah.
love karaoke.
Okay. Thrifty and Nifty.
Okay, well,
So where do we go, ladies?
so we went to Reconsidered Goods, which is in Greensboro, and it's a really, really cool store, but let me go ahead and let Holly explain a little bit more.
Give us that Disney
Since she's a little
411.
bit more of a frequent flyer over there.
Wonder what that says about my personality.
It only says good things.
Yeah. It's a wonderful shop that is like Kristen said in Greensboro, and it just has the most interesting things I think I've ever found in a thrift store. It is half like materials for art, and then other half like I left these things here and I don't know what to do with them.
Very eclectic.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the word in my head.
Yeah.
Very eclectic.
Yeah, like for instance, my husband and I have a mug wall downstairs that we were inspired to make from Reconsidered Goods, where we have mug shots of celebrities over a hanging wall of our mugs for coffee. So mug wall, because they had this joke at Reconsidered Goods, and we bought the mug shots each for $2 already framed of Mick Jagger and Keanu Reeves and Tim Allen on a kitchen wall.
I really think you just need to expand your mug wall just a little bit more. Just really knock it out. Like, make it the most obnoxious mug wall you can.
Yeah.
I can have our mugs on it.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
oh yeah.
We should get people to, get our friends to do mug shots. That'd be so fun. Yeah.
And you guys, you and Phil need mug shots.
And your dogs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Daryl's on the second floor has a mug wall. So we can take pictures.
With the background.
Yeah. Well, and you've also got your green screen.
Oh, yeah.
We could do. I mean,
Well, now,
why would we go eat out when we can just green screen it?
yeah. If you guys ever want to do a green screen, all we need is green contact paper. I can get it from work. I've got the app on my iPad. We can do some green screen backgrounds.
Oh, the joys of virtual learning.
Yay! I don't think anyone watched my videos.
I was going to say, usually I feel like I'm introducing you guys to stuff, but today was my first time ever entering Reconsidered Goods. It's probably one of the coolest thrift shops I've been to, and I've been to some pretty cool ones. And I actually love, like, thrifting. It's one of my favorite things to do. And Kristen and I have gone before, but I think this is the first time I've gone with you, Holly.
Yeah.
And it was an experience. And Shelby.
Yeah, our friend Shelby joined us because she had been wanting to go. And there's just some weird things in there that, like, for instance, finding negatives of cameras is so interesting. And they have a light up table you can put all the negatives on, so you can just pick up people's random negatives or people's random family photos that they've just given to Reconsidered Goods for art projects. You can pick up someone's baby photo and you have no idea whose baby this is or how old they are, or there's a wedding dress you can buy in there and it looks like it's from the 90s. Like $50. It is so interesting in there.
And they're so well priced. I was
Yeah.
going to say, today I spent a total of $17. $17.72. And I remember this because that is the year Salem College was founded.
Oh.
And I think the person at the register thought I was nuts because I was like, 1772. And they looked at me like, they were like, yes. And I was like, I'm not mad about it. I'm ecstatic. And they were like, great. And I was like, no, well, I went to this college and it's called Salem College. And that is when it was founded. And I'm so excited. And I just felt bad after that.
I love how, like, when we are trying to justify, like, our emotions towards something, that it just in a result makes us look even loonier than we actually were if we had just let it happen. You know, like, I do that all the time with my guests, and I'm like, I'm such a weirdo, but this is why. And I just go on, and they're like, wow, that was great, thanks. And I'm like, let me just finish shampooing, you know.
Oh my God. But I for $17.72 I purchased 2 mugs with geese that were decorating some kind of Christmas situation. Then I got a mug that I don't understand why I got it. It's like a bald eagle and he's got glowing eyes. And I grabbed it and I put it down and it just whispered at me, like, not like in a paranormal way, but like in a I'm supposed to get it. Yeah, well, I felt like Chris would really like it. I don't know what it was, but I was like, if I don't get this mug, like,
Chris needs me.
yeah, inside of Chris's heart, he's gonna know that there's a piece of him missing out here. and it's an eagle with glowing eyes.
Amazing.
I was like, it's 50 cents, and the worst that happens is I take it and I donate it somewhere, right? Like, if that's the worst that happens, it's worth the risk of 50 cents, be damned. And then I was so excited because they had a bee lamp, and I love bees. Like, they're kind of on par with possums, and I was really excited, and then it didn't have a light bulb, and then I said, can you guys test it? And they put a light bulb in it, and then they were going to take the light bulb out, and I said, please, 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 can I keep the light bulb? And they were like, well, we really don't sell those. And I said, but I really don't want to go into a Lowe's Hardware. It's like a whole thing. My friend Kristen, she broke it down for me. Like, I don't think I want to go in there. And they were,
But you're so competent.
I know, but I just, I didn't want to. And so I was like, please. And then they were like, oh, okay. And they let me keep the light bulb.
They're so nice.
They were very nice. And then I also got coasters from the United Airlines, and it looked pretty, and I like them.
Back when they were classy.
Yeah. Well, I really liked it because it kind of made me feel like 1970s. I'm in the fly lounge, and they're going to board me at any minute, and I've got things to do in the transcontinental American kind of vibes.
Very Pan Am.
Yeah, it was very exciting. And lastly, I have a Meowstery mysterious cat-themed goodies, and it says, Ella Meowtree, my dear cat son.
Great. Perfect pun. Great.
Right? So at the end of the episode, I will open this for you, dear viewers, because I am dying with anticipation. I want to know what's in there.
I did not walk away with as much, but I feel like the items that I walked away with are just as great. I walked away with what I learned was a broken lime green recorder.
Hot cross buns, am I right?
More like snot cross buns. Like, it's just so... I tried blowing into it, not putting my mouth on it because I'm going to wash it for sure. But
I was a little scared because I heard it and I wasn't looking at you, and I was like, oh my God, no.
No, I am much smarter than that. But Holly managed to get a really good quality one. But I'm not going to say anything. And then I did walk away with the Sound of Music on vinyl. And I am excited because I love the sound of music.
Nice.
Oh, and I spent $2.38.
What Kristen doesn't know is I broke her recorder. I'm just kidding. I didn't break your recorder.
I was like, when? I found it broken.
You elementary school bully.
I know. I also got a recorder. I got a pink see-through one, but I also
It's a Yamaha. It's a great quality.
A brand name.
Yamaha.
It looks the same as the one I had in elementary school because I was that kid that when we started recorder, whatever, in 2nd or 3rd grade, I was like, Dad, we have to go and get a recorder. I want a fancy one that's a different color than everybody else's. And they did it. They took me to a music store and bought me I think it was a black or red recorder. Why? Why did you do this?
Because they love you.
Just so you can hear me screech down the hallway. No,
see it from further away.
Yeah, because normally you would keep the ones at school or something. Like we had a class set for every class, and so we would keep them at school, but I took mine home, so my parents had to listen to recorder all the time, which I think is very funny. Anyway, but I got a recorder. I got a pen that, again, it just kind of spoke to me. I put pins on my book bag that I take to and from school. And so it's a Greyhound, like the bus symbol, the Greyhound buses, but underneath it just says volunteer. I don't know, I just really liked it. I like volunteering. I don't think I've ever been on a Greyhound bus though, but it's like all silver. It's really cool.
New episode idea.
Yeah, let's go on a bus trip.
I actually want to go on a train trip, but that's for later.
I would love to go on a train trip.
The Amtrak is wonderful. Mm-hmm. I think we should. And I have family in DC, so we could pent up with them.
I've only been on like the train in parks. If I've been on a bigger one, I don't remember it.
I have family in California. We can go the whole way if we want to.
Oh my God, I've never been there.
Kristen's shaking her head no on a train ride. It would take us days.
I'm not spending days in a train.
With us?
And other people? Other strangers? No, so then the last thing I got was this weird, it looked like a spoon rest, but the closer I looked at it, the more I still can't figure out exactly what it's meant for. There's like 10 different theories now. But it's got a raised bowl shape, and there's a slit in it that's horizontal across the top, and it like would fit into the palm of your hand. So it looks like it would hold a spoon, and like the spoon could go through the slit, but it's a straight one, so it's not curved like a spoon. And then there's a little ladle type shape off of it, like you could hang it somewhere. And I don't know what to put in it. I might just put yarn in it, but I still don't know exactly what it's meant for. But it's beautiful. It looks like pottery. And all of those three things together were $373, I think was how much I spent.
I think what you should do is take a picture of the candle spoon thingy on Facebook and ask what people think it is.
Yes.
And see if you can actually figure out what it is.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We can put it on the page too. But you should post it first so that we can put what people guessed in the little caption and then see what other people guess.
Yeah, Kristen thinks it's like for, I don't know.
Victorian, like sick Victorian child in the dark holding a candle. Mother, I'm coughing up blood. You know, kind of like The Others.
Why do you do this, you treacherous child?
I loved The Others. Have you seen The Others?
No.
With Nicole Kidman? Oh, that's a good suspense movie. Yeah.
Speaking of treachery, and this is like just a quick, we don't even have to keep it in the podcast. There's this new show on Netflix, and it starts with The Imposter, maybe? No, not The Imposters. The something. And it's this group of people, and they don't know they're getting recorded. They think that, like, they know they're on a reality show, but they think they're in the final parts of the audition. And it's not from here. It's like Spanish, but it has an English dub if you want that. And what sucked me into it is in the trailer, this guy says, "You treacherous bitch." And I just, there was another thing too. And it just really was the best.
Also on Netflix, there's a really good documentary, if you haven't seen it, called Our Father.
I haven't seen it.
And that's about Dr. Klein, who's a fertility specialist, and he has like at least 94 confirmed children.
I lied.
He artificially inseminated women with his own sperm.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and they all live in the same town.
Whoa.
It's very good. You should watch it. And if this makes it to the podcast, viewers, you should watch it.
That gives me a mixed bag of emotions. And you know what else is a mixed bag?
Mystery bag.
Meowstery.
Yes.
Okay. I'm ready. Can I tell you? Okay, you should do one of them, and I'm going to tell you what I think it is as you pull it out of the bag at the same time.
Okay, this is going to be some ASMR. Welcome to the Meowstery.
Okay, she's opening the bag. She's ripping it.
I think a staple fell, so before we go, we need to look because I don't want your dogs to die.
Yeah, we'll find it. Yeah, okay. So she's opening up the bag. First thing is gonna be, okay, hold on. I'm gonna make a guess. Cat ears.
It's cosmic catnip.
Is it full?
No.
Wait, no, there's stuff in it.
But it's not full.
No, there's catnip in it.
But it's not full of catnip.
Oh,
it's full of catnip.
and it's got little sachet bags, so
Those
you
are
can
nice.
like dope your cat.
Yeah, like tea bags.
All right, ready for the next guess?
It's strong. That's a strong smell.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm glad you have cats.
Kristen, what are you guessing?
Oh my gosh.
Do you want a clue? I don't know what it is, but I could tell you what some of it feels like.
Oh, ooh, yeah. Tell us what it kind of feels like.
It has a hole and it's cold.
Pottery.
Is it a cat bowl?
Ooh.
Oh,
It's a cat
it is
one.
pottery.
Yeah, it is pottery.
It's a Riesling. It used to be wine.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot. And I have a bar. You guys know this. But, okay, this next thing's really fuzzy and it has whiskers.
Oh, it's gotta be a stuffed animal.
I have this cat! This is a fat cat! And I'm not being rude. This is a SECU, State Employees Credit Union, fat cat. And I know this because when I went into the State Employee Credit Union, I died because I saw the fat cat and I said, "Can I please own one?" And they were like, And I was like, no, it's kind of like the Wells Fargo situation when I was 14 and a half and I wanted a bank account, but now I wanted a fat cat. And I said, ma'am, I've opened an account. May I please have a cat? And they charged me like $6, and then I got my own fat cat. But now he has a lover. Next item.
Okay, wait, so you need cat toys now, right? You don't have any cat toys.
This is round and cold.
A mug?
Oh my goodness, it's a little canister with 1, 2, 3 little cat babies.
Oh,
They're
that's
all
cute.
Oh my
tuxedo.
gosh, you can put your catnip in that.
There you go.
It's like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You can put your weed in there. Have you seen that?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but it's funny. That's a cat toy. That's or jewelry.
Ooh, is it collars?
It's cat toys.
Cat toys. There they are.
It's those jingle balls.
The jingle balls. Jingle balls. Jingle balls.
This one feels kind of like it's
Nice.
wrapped in wrapping paper.
You paid $7 for this, right?
Yeah, it's already worth its weight in gold.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this feels like it's wrapped in... Oh, it's a Ziploc bag. There's something in a Ziploc bag, and it's kind of crumply.
Is it leftover cat food?
I fucking hope not. I sure hope not. Any guesses?
You said it's crumbly?
Yeah.
Is it cat treats?
Oh my god, it's the Done catnip packs. Someone started making them.
Oh my gosh, it's like pre-rolls.
Let's see it.
Okay, this feels...
I don't know why that got me.
So this one kind of feels like a gift wrap as well. I think this is actually what I was feeling until I felt that one was a Ziploc bag. This feels like gift wrap.
Oh, I'm so not good at guessing.
A decorative purse with a cat on it.
What if that... It's the Lion King.
That has nothing to do with cat. Oh, it's a lion.
And it is a bag.
It is a
Oh
bag.
my gosh.
You're
Oh, you're so good.
Thanks. I really did.
There's
That's
another
cool.
Ziploc.
My answer was
Just make a whole bunch of consonants and maybe something will come out.
Maybe something will make sense.
It's more of the bags.
I really think they just didn't know what to do with that
they
much
just had a bunch
catnip.
of catnip. Yep.
There's something loose and I'm scared. Oh, what are these? Oh, it's so cute. It's a little, it's like a little lapel pin.
For their collars?
No, for me, and it has cats on it, and it's really cute. I like it a lot.
Oh,
And then-
it's a kitty brooch.
Then there's a stamp. It's a roller stamp,
Oh,
and
it's like they
cats.
made it with Shrinky Dinks or something.
Is he?
Oh, I'm obsessed with the stamp.
The stamp is really cute.
I like the stamp. Do you guys want it on your hand? At Club Cat. Oh, I know what this is, so I'll let you guess.
Another one of these things. Pins? No?
Is it another bag of catnip?
It's not something we've seen yet.
Oh,
But it's a common item
for cats?
for humans.
Oh,
It's a book!
Oh!
10 Spiritual Lessons You Can Learn from Your Cat by Joanna Sandsmark.
Oh
Great.
my gosh.
Let's learn one
Open up to
lesson.
one. Yeah, just open up to one.
Delta sleep. Take a cat nap.
Hey, good recommendation.
I could take
I
a
took
cat
one
nap.
today before going in.
Yeah, in the car, right?
Bro, there's more in this bag.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, this one is like long
Oh my gosh.
and it tickles my fingers.
Oh, it's the feather thingy, the feather toy.
It's a ribbon toy, but basically, yes. I think that's everything. Nope. There's still more.
Oh my goodness. It's like Mary Poppins' bag.
I know.
Okay, I'm
For
just gonna pull
$7 is
these
pretty good.
two. There's this thing, but I don't know what this is. And then there's a little fuzzy toy for kitties.
Oh, these are buttons.
Oh,
Yeah, they're kitty cat buttons.
there's a stamp card, I guess, to make sure that the stamps
So
had
to know
worked.
that it worked.
Proof.
And then there's another thing. It's a cat bookmark.
Oh, cute.
Bro, this is like a steal. Like, I stole from them and I didn't even know it. And I think that's everything. That was a lot of stuff. And it was only $7.
Does
Yay.
I mean, if we were going to equate the amount of catnip that you got into actual like dollar value, I mean, you almost have like 2 kilos
Oh my god.
of catnip.
You have a lot of catnip.
Like, you could Start a business for your cats.
That's what the spoon rest is for. Catnip.
Maybe.
Or the human equivalent.
Just a little sprinkle of catnip.
Sprinkle.
Well, ladies, so I think we should get into our little prescriptions. What do you think?
I think we should too.
We prescribe to our feline listeners catnip, brought to you by Reconsidered Goods. But for our humans, I would like to suggest something that I've actually used. Earlier we talked about good listening and skills like that. And I'll be honest, I don't always retain what people tell me. And so something I started doing is I have notes in my little iPhone notes for some of my friends. And when they tell me something that's important to them, or I learn a fact that, like, I know I'm going to need a recall for later, I sometimes jot it down. Like, if I find out someone's favorite color is yellow, then I'll jot that down. Or if, like, we're at a store and they're like, man, I like this thing, then I might be like Star Trek, or really liked Hallmark mug from da-da-da-da-da, or take a picture of it and add it to the note, because an iPhone you can do that. I don't know if you can do that with Android. I don't always do that. But especially when I'm, like, really in, like, a high stress mode, but I want to retain this, it's really helped me, because when I kind of tried to autopilot that stuff, it's not always the easiest. Mm-hmm. So that's my prescription. If you've got faulty memory, use technology.
That's a good idea, honestly.
So for me, I am going to prescribe trying to be more present when hanging out with your friends. So limiting the amount of distractions that you have around you. If you know that this specific event that you're going to is going to be a little bit more emotionally backed or heavy, come knowing that you need to be a little bit more present, that you may have to just kind of like put your needs a little bit more on the back burner and be there for that person. Just kind of like slowing down. And I know we can all get really excited about wanting to catch up and stuff, but kind of just reading the room and allowing things just to kind of happen organically, and just being able to listen and then respond instead of to just react.
That's great advice.
I think for me, and this is something I want to be better at, is if someone says to you, hey, I want you to listen to this, give it a fair shake. Don't just assume that you might not like it, or assume that, you know, well, why would they tell me to try this? They know I don't like this type of music. Or why would they say, you know, to try this when they themselves have different types of music that they like? Because they're thinking about you and they think you might like it, and there's something in it that they are trying to connect to you with. Yeah, they want to connect with you. So try it, give it a fair shake, and enjoy the time that you have with others.
You've been listening to Solving the Friendemic with your hosts, Sabrina,
Kristen,
and Holly.
Goodbye.
And have a good week.
Solve the meowstries.
Welcome to the outtakes, bitches.
But it has translated into me being like, I'm anal. This is my tree.
Hi, Anal. I'm Dad.
So I also helped plan like the big embassy 4th of July party, which is super big overseas because America. You know, we gotta make them fireworks and make sure they know what America is.
America.
We need to make them taste freedom.
We need to what?
It's time for the outtakes. Come listen to us be a little wacky-doody.
I'm scared.
Oh, Peter, I can't believe we're in the outtakes.
I kind of sounded like the hormone monster in a weird way. Being kind and gracious, those are the things.
I'm so
Bless
sorry.
you. Bless you.
How dare you sneeze?
I didn't mean to. I really tried to hold it in. I started whispering raspberry.
Think of cows eating ice cream.
Keep going. You were on a good roll.
So sensually.
Mother, I'm coughing up blood.
I want to do the sound that's like,
Wow.
no. Owen Wilson is not here.
Wow.